This football extravaganza on SportsZone is brought to you by Daikin.
Everywhere with you.
Daikin.
Hey Singapore, this is former Liverpool and Real Madrid winger Steve McManaman. You're locked onto SportsZone on 938 Live.
From 938 Live.
This is Formula One driver Fernando Alonso.
Hi Singapore, I'm Jürgen Klinsmann.
Hi, I'm Martin Tyler.
This is Annika Sorensen.
Hi Singapore, this is Johnny Wilson. You're locked on to the best in sport. Cheers.
You're listening to Singapore's longest running and only sports talk show on radio. A good Saturday and welcome to SportsZone right here on 938 Live. I'm Noor Farhan and our discussion today will once again be focused on the 2014 FIFA World Cup. And joining me as my co-host today is Channel News Asia's Patwan Singh.
Yes, thanks Farhan. Now we are finally in the midst of the World Cup quarterfinals where two crucial games have been played. And we've certainly had plenty of drama, goals and talking points over these past 2 weeks. So over the next 45 minutes or so, we're going to talk about the teams still in the tournament and predict the teams which will likely progress to the semi-finals.
That's right, and we'll also be giving away prizes from Adidas and Sony Music in our phone-in contest. Now, one of the hot favourites to win the World Cup this year is Argentina. And with the likes of Lionel Messi and Sergio Aguero in their team, they certainly stand a very good chance of going all the way this year, don't you think so?
Yes, they do look like one of the teams which so far have been doing I would say pretty well, but again, I think an over-reliance of Lionel Messi, so that could be a drawback there.
Alright then, so today two lucky listeners will get the chance to win for themselves the national home jersey of the Argentinians, worth $100 each. We're giving away the large size version of only though, plus each winner will also take home the official World Cup CD album, which has close to 20 tracks from several renowned artists like Shakira, J-Lo, Pitbull, Ricky Martin and others. As you already know that Shakira will be performing in the closing ceremony of the World Cup just before the Cup final itself. So that's in our phone-in contest coming up later, where you have to answer a simple question based on the World Cup.
And with us in the studio today is Hougang United striker Geison Moura. He's Brazilian true and true. I can tell you that. I mean, I'm seeing him and I can tell you. Okay, with him is his club mate and goalkeeper Fadhil Salim, and they're joined by Balestier Khalsa's Goran Ljuboyevic. I hope I got that right.
Yeah.
Yes. And their Prime League team manager R. VengaMan. Am I right? Okay, otherwise known as the VengaMan. Okay, welcome to the show, guys.
Now, right, let's start with you, Fadhil. How do you think the Germans fared in their game this morning? It was a 1-0 win for them.
I think they did just enough to win the game 1-0 because they scored from the set piece. I think they did quite enough to nick to the semi-final.
Right, it sounds like you're not really impressed with the way the Germans won the game there.
I think they can do better with the players that they have. They have a lot of quality attacking players. I think they can score more goals, maybe second goals and third goal to seal the game, but they didn't make it. But 1-0 is a good result for them.
Okay, Goran, the other match saw Brazil take on Colombia. So are you surprised with the Brazilians win, actually?
I'm not surprised with the Brazilian win. I mean, they didn't play good this World Cup, but they are Brazil, you know. They will go. I think they will go until the final, you know. And those two players that scored the goal, they are the really top class players, you know. And I think the only thing they miss is the strikers, except Neymar, to start scoring and play good, you know. But I think they are still Brazil, and I think that they will go to the final for sure.
Well, Venga, do you agree? I mean, is Brazil hitting top form at this stage of the competition?
They have not hit any top form until now, and I don't expect them to hit top form. But I think they will get through to the final. If not, it will be a disaster in Brazil.
Jason, being Brazilian, what do you think? I mean, looking ahead to their next match at least.
Well, I think every team it's I mean, you can look at it not doing well or, you know, very competitive. I think every game now, like I said, it's 50-50, and, you know, we do have better chances for playing at home, but every team right now, it's a good contender.
But do you think Brazil will have a few setbacks? We know Thiago Silva will not be playing, and of course we heard the bad news for Neymar.
Oh yeah, definitely. Neymar is our star, and we were hoping to have him, all the way to the final. But I think we have quality players to replace him and then go all the way to the final.
Well, Fadhil, we were talking about this, how before the show, of course, how they are a bit lacking in the striking department. We've seen how Fred, I don't think has scored any goals so far in the campaign. What do you think about that?
I think Fred is not doing quite well actually in terms of scoring goals.
I think he's got only one goal so far.
Yes.
Yeah,
Given his big frame, that's all he can come up with.
And I think the only guy that I think should be playing now, I think Joe. I think he got a good physical side of him. I think he can nick it on the set pieces. I think Brazil got good players who can deliver the ball for set pieces. I think he should give Joe a chance in the semi-final to prove himself. I think the Brazilian fans at home also, I think they want that.
Alright, Venga, let's talk about the missing man in the next match in the semis with the Germans. There's not going to be any Thiago Silva, no Neymar. Who do you think is going to fill up the spaces there?
I think they have enough quality in their team. And I said that Bayern Munich player Dante should be able to replace Thiago. And I think there are a lot of midfield players. I think the midfield players have not scored a lot of goals in the Brazil team. Probably
actually, I need to just interrupt there because I spoke to quite a lot of Brazilian fans, and a lot of people keep talking about the defense, but actually this person was telling me it's the midfield that's not functioning properly.
The midfield is not functioning.
So the defenders have to really do the job of going up and then or pumping those long balls to Neymar.
Because I'm a bit of a coach also, so I know.
Yeah, sorry.
So I realized that the midfield isn't really helping the Brazilian team, but I think they will get it right, and probably the injury to Neymar will bring in somebody. I think Paulinho should step up, and I hope that the midfielders should start scoring goals, and that should solve the problem. It will be a tremendous disaster if Brazil don't get to the final. Okay, it will be a disaster as a whole, as a World Cup, because they are hosting. Brazilians are supposed to be known as the best in the world, and they are at home. They should go to the final. They should throw the Germans out and get to the finals. And the Germans can go home.
You're listening to SportsZone on 938 Live, and today we continue our coverage of the FIFA World Cup as we dive headfirst into the semi-finals. And today I'm delighted to welcome to the studio 4 guests with their take on the ongoing excitement in Brazil. We've got Hougang United's Brazilian hitman Geison Moura and his goalkeeper and teammate Fadhil Salim. And we've also got Balestier Khalsa as our VengaMan and their Croatian striker Goran Ljuboyevic. On to the rest of our show now, and moving on from this morning's matches. Venga, let's talk about the Asian teams in this World Cup. They're obviously nowhere to be seen in the round of 16 in the quarterfinals. Let's start with Japan, of course. They faltered in their group, which saw Colombia and Greece advance instead. What happened there with Japan?
I think there's too much emphasis on Asian football. I don't think we are up to the world ranking, even though we did well in Korea and Japan.
2002.
That was why, because we are playing it in our conditions. So right now, Asia is nowhere near the guys who the top end players and all that. So I'm not surprised that Japan, Korea, even Australia got kicked out easily.
Right, still on Japan though. Japan, as you know, is their golden generation with their stars like Shinji Kagawa, Keisuke Honda. So what does this mean in relation to the
golden
Japanese
generation for Japan alone, not the world? So there's a difference between golden generation in Japan and golden generation in the world. So it's a lot of difference. It's completely a different. Look at Costa Rica. They came from nowhere. Nobody talked about Costa Rica. They're playing doing well. So let's talk about talking about Japan. They're not up to the world level at the moment.
Jason, what about you? Do you agree that Japan simply didn't live up to their reputation, and it could be the fault of their coach, their Italian coach Alberto Zaccheroni?
Yeah, I think the weather did a lot for them and for a lot of countries. I mean, but I think Japan, Spain, Honduras, they were not at the level that the teams are playing right now.
Besides the weather, I mean, what could be the factors? Do you think that, like, of course, Venga was saying that there's still a gap between perhaps, of course, the top Europeans.
Or probably, I don't know, some bad sushi before
bad sushi. Okay. Okay. That was a good one, but no. Okay.
Too much raw food.
Too much raw food, huh? Yeah.
I know the Koreans got sweets when they went back, which was quite ironical. No, they were pelted with, instead of eggs, they were pelted with sweets. Yeah.
Well, we expect too much from we expect too much from the Asian teams. We are not there yet. We are really not there yet. So why are we putting our expectations too high? I'm not sure.
Actually, this morning somebody asked me a question whether there's an Asian World Cup, and
Should
I kind of laughed it off. And now that you bring it up, I think it makes sense, right? Perhaps then you should have
a continental cup.
Yeah, continental. Then
like intercontinental.
You could either, or like in cricket they have the test playing nation. So in World Cup also there's a cut-off of sorts. That
I know it's for FIFA it's about making $5 billion.
Yeah, okay.
But there are teams who are not shouldn't be there and wasting my time. Watching these games and then 30 days, nights. They should shorten the league to 16 teams, the best 16 teams in the world to play like those days.
Yeah, so perhaps,
But then it's revenue, marketing.
If Sepp Blatter is listening, I think, he might
take up
why waste right? Why waste time? Get on with it.
Well, Fadhil, still on Asian football in the World Cup. South Korea, of course, got knocked out. And the only memorable thing about South Korea was their beautiful sports journalists clapping, and that's the only memorable thing. So I think is that sad? Is that a sad thing for Asian football?
Yeah, it's quite sad for South Korea because after they did well in the 2002 World Cup, people expect so much from them, but they didn't turn up for this tournament this year. But if you look, I think getting a draw in 3 games, I think is better than 0 point. I think 1 point is better for them. I think they can do better in future because they got a couple of players coming in. I think they should be.
Alright.
Okay, Goran, now the Iranians too did not fare well. They finished last in Group F. What went wrong, you think, for the Iranians who were under the leadership of their Portuguese coach, right?
I played there for 1 year there in their league, so I know they're crazy for football, for the national team. Really, they love it. They put a lot of money in it. But the problem is, before they had a few players who played in the Bayern.
That's
Munich,
right.
like
Ali Daei, right?
Ali Karimi, Ali Daei, Magdavikia. Now they don't have so many players playing in Europe. And that's a big problem for them. I think they should try to send young players there to try to learn how to play football, tactic, and those things, and then to come back to play for the national team.
And do you agree with all their view, as in like Asian football has been left behind by the other continents in this day and age?
Yeah.
Be honest, Goran.
Honestly, I don't know why is that. In 2002 they played well this World Cup, but now they are not doing well. Honestly, I think they need to send players to the European League somehow. Have some deal with those clubs, to teach those young players how to play tactically football, how to, and then to come back here and play for the national teams. That's my opinion.
Well, Venga, do you agree that's the case? The coaching aspect of it, we should learn from how Europe does things and maybe apply in the Asian context.
I think our coaches here in Singapore, I've learned a lot from the last 19 years from all the coaches. It's a culture which we have not adapted yet. The culture of football culture. It starts right at the top. It starts with FAS, how they want to go, how they want to do it. It starts with people who want to put things correct from the bottom line. You got to correct the bottom. The base must be good before you can start thinking. We cannot blame coaches at all, because coach, whatever scholarly learns is what my coach learns in Singapore also. He watches Godelo on video. They all learn things, but it's the culture which is missing in Singapore football, and probably in Asian. I mean, in Japan and Korea, I see the football culture is different. They are already there, but talking about local scene, we are far away from this culture. So we will take another 100 years before I won't be around.
Another 100 years.
So, but beyond culture, do you think there are other aspects? I mean, they always this subject comes about size.
Size, no, size is never a problem. Mexicans go there. We're almost same size with Mexicans.
Even Spain.
Yeah, in Spain, they're all the Martian players, the short ones. and it's not the size. It's about funding these young boys in Singapore, not paying them good money to really concentrate on football, so they don't have to go and work part-time somewhere in McDonald's or become a taxi driver future. They should.
But then that brings us to the point about, okay, your countries like Japan and Korea, where there is a culture, I believe there's much more support than what we have here. And yet at the world stage, you see, they are still left behind.
Basically, Asia is not at the world stage at the moment. Okay, but at least we can give a good fight. The top 4 teams can give a good fight with the European teams. We are not there yet. But if you want to compare Singapore, you want to talk about Singapore, then we are not even there with the top 4 Asian team. So it's all about down to the one word only: money.
Money.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Okay.
And then hopefully there might be improvement in the next 100 years.
I won't be around. But
we'll be around.
No, I won't be around. But at least I always, when the former president of FS, I told him this, Mr. Professor Ho Peng Kee, I said, boss, when you are in the office, leave something behind for people to remember. And I think Professor Ho did very well when doing his term, and he left a lot of things. We won 2 Suzuki Cup under his. So the progress must be there. We must, the president of whoever hates the thing must think long ahead.
Alright then, that's part 1 of Sports Zone. Coming up after the news headlines, we'll touch a little on our local football scene, and then we'll proceed again with the World Cup. Plus, it's your chance to win the national jerseys of Argentina, as well as the official World Cup CD album. The contest is coming up on part 2 of Sports Zone right here on 938 Live.
This football extravaganza on Sports Zone is brought to you by Daikin.
Everywhere with you.
Daikin.
This football extravaganza on Sports Zone is brought to you by Daikin.
Everywhere with you.
Daikin.
Good day, Singapore. This is former Manchester United player Peter Schmeichel, and you're listening to the guys on 938 Live Sports.
You're listening to Sports Zone on 938 Live. I'm Noor Farhan, and today we're once again talking about football. And joining me in this discussion is my co-host, who's from Channel News Asia, Patwan Singh. But before we continue, it's time to give away the prizes which we mentioned earlier, courtesy of Adidas Singapore and Sony Music. And a reminder for those of you who have won prizes since May 31st on Sports Zone, you cannot take part today. Well, we're giving away 2 Argentinian national team jerseys worth $100 each. And in addition, 2 winners will also get a copy of the latest World Cup album, with the likes of the Baha Men, Sergio Mendes, Shakira and Ricky Martin all performing on this CD. The album is called One Love, One Rhythm, and is now available on iTunes, Spotify, Amped and at all good record stores. So for a chance to win the fantastic Adidas jerseys, you don't have to cry for them, Argentina. All you have to do is to answer this question. Now, in this World Cup, Lionel Messi wears the number 10 jersey for Argentina. But back in the 1986 World Cup campaign in Mexico, who wore the famous number 10 jersey for Argentina? I repeat again, who wore the number 10 jersey for Argentina in 1986? If you know the answer, then do call now. The number to dial is 669-11938. Now, just to share a little bit of part 1. This 1986 is the year where I was born.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So you are announcing your age on national radio.
Right, no.
Okay, now let's get back to business, as we've got Hougang United's Brazilian hitman, Geison Moura, and his teammate Fadhil Salim on our show today to talk about football. We've also got Balestier Khalsa's Vengadashalam and their striker Goran Ljuboyevic. I always go slower when I want to say that name. Okay. In the first half of the show, we reviewed this morning's quarterfinal games at the World Cup. We also talked about the failed World Cup campaigns of the teams from Asia. And now let's zoom in from the map of Asia towards our island nation, Singapore. Time for local football, now with our guests. And Goran, now let's start with you and Balestier Khalsa. You guys did well in midweek because your side knocked out Geylang International on penalties in the RHB Singapore Cup, right? To advance to the semi-finals. Now, on 2-2 was the aggregate score. Tell us about the game now.
Oh, the game was very tough, I think when I saw the statistic, we had like 19 shots on the goal, but I can say that I missed most of the chances from the team, but okay. But Geylang is good on set pieces, and they scored the goal from the set piece.
Okay, so...
And we tried to come back, try to score that goal. but we didn't do it, so the game went to extra time and then at the end to the penalties, and we were a little bit luckier with the penalties, and our goalkeeper Zaiful was great in those penalties. He saved, I think, 2 penalties.
So how would you describe the season so far? I mean, are you satisfied with the 7th place in the S-League after 18 games?
No, we are not satisfied. Especially I'm really not satisfied, because I was thinking that we are going to fight for the championship, to be champions. But our players our most important players, our key players were injured. Park was the midfield player. He was for 10 games, I think, that he was injured, and the captain Paul, he went on the knee surgery now 1 month ago, so he's not going to play for the next 2-3 months, and for us he's a really important player for the team.
Well, Venga, you're in charge of the Balestier Khalsa Prime League team, but what do you think of the first team coach Marko Kraljevic? Has he unlocked the very best out of the side?
Marko is doing extremely well, given what Goran said, a lot of injuries, and he's coming back as a head coach for the first time. So he's done extremely well. I could have done better with some games, but I think overall he has done extremely well, and I think he's going to be a good coach for Balestier Khalsa down the line.
What do you think about the overall team performance? The first team, of course. So far
the first team plays very well. When Park is around, when Park is in motion, Goran starts scoring goals. So Goran hasn't scored for about 6 games now.
Oh, he scored in 6 games, only 1 goal. So
6 games he scored 1 goal. So that's so he's a bit worried when we're talking about it. But he never gives up trying. So we will continue to do well, and we are looking forward to the Star Hub Cup, which is
League Cup,
and the RHB Cup. At least we have a good run in the cups.
Alright then, before we go any further, let's announce our 2 contest winners. The question was, in this World Cup, Lionel Messi wears the number 10 jersey for Argentina, but back in the 1986 World Cup campaign in Mexico, who wore the famous number 10 jersey for Argentina? I mean, Pawan, you know this answer, obviously, right?
I'll give you his full name, Diego Armando Maradona.
Alright.
He's the hand of God.
Scorer of the hand of God goal, right? Yeah, and the winner of the first Argentinian jersey is Chris Lai Moy, and the second winner is Paul Chan. Congratulations, you both will also take home the official World Cup CD album. Now, more details of the jerseys can be found on the Adidas SG Facebook page. And as for the CD album, which is called One Love, One Rhythm, it's now available on iTunes, Spotify, and at all record stores. Thanks again to Adidas Singapore and Sony Music for our prizes.
Venga, it's back to you again with Balestier Khalsa. Now, next week, the Tigers are in action when the League Cup gets underway, and the team will play against Brunei, DPMM, and Hougang United in the group stages. Now, what is your assessment of these 2 teams then?
Hougang has been doing extremely well. The last 7 games, they've been on fire. DPMM is a new revelation with Donovan scoring a lot of goals. So we have to be really up there to match these 2 teams at this time.
And DPM are top of the league, right? You think they deserve it? Their place right now?
I think deservingly they're on top. And I think they will take the title this year.
So are you all gunning for a double this season, both the League Cup and Singapore Cup?
We have to look at the cups and to keep our season alive and kicking.
Alright then, Geison, as mentioned, Hougang United and Balestier are in the same group in the League Cup. Do you think that your team have what it takes to knock out Balestier in the tournament, maybe? You've seen how they played, right?
Yeah, we played, and it wasn't an easy game, and
Of course it's not going to be an easy game.
And I believe it's not going to be an easy game again. Goran is a very strong player, and he brought us a lot of trouble back there, so I think it's going to be a very difficult game.
Right then, but why do you think Hougang is playing good football this season? Is it also due to the support of the new signings or the support of the fans, even the Hougang Hools?
Yeah. I think to be honest, starts from all the way up there in the management. I think the management's doing a great job, and then from the back, Fadhil and all the midfielders and up top, me and Diego are scoring goals. So I think everything is functioning well, and obviously the fans, the Hools, they're incredible. Every game we feel their energy, we feel their support, and this is what's making the difference.
Now, I'm sure some credit would go towards your coach Amin Nasir as well. Now, Fadhil, perhaps you can tell us more about your coach. I mean, we know he's quite a survivor, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's quite a survivor actually. He's a very motivated coach. He's always remind us what to do and not what to do on and off the field. He's like a father to some of the players because he helped good advice to some of us. And his belief is about if you work hard, you can get something out of a game. That's what his motto is.
So what else is different this season, compared to the last season? I mean, it's sure there must be a reason for these positive results.
This season and last season, the difference is that last season we were not consistent enough for every game. We can beat Tampines at one time and then we can lose to Geylang or Young Lions at one game. But this season we will be more consistent, and I think Coach Amin has really put us well up since the pre-season time, and he's really prepared us well for this season.
And your form personally as a goalkeeper, you think it's better?
Should be in the national team.
Should be in the national team.
I agree.
I think I can do better for now because I was out for about 6 games because I broke one of my bone on my finger, and I came back and I did pretty well, I think. But I can give more to Hougang, and hopefully we can do much better this season again.
Right then, we'll be checking in with our friends from Traffic Watch in a few minutes. But before that, let's get back to our topic on the World Cup. We've got 2 more exciting matches lined up for the rest of the quarterfinal games happening tonight. Now, late at midnight, we've got Argentina against Belgium, and that's followed tomorrow morning by Holland versus Costa Rica. Now, Jason, let's begin with you and the match between Argentina and Belgium. Now, do you like the way the Argentinians play? I mean, of course, you're a Brazilian. Argentina.
Okay, first of all, I don't like the prizes that you guys give. I think unlucky Chris and the other fellow that got the jerseys. But anyway,
they should be winning Brazilian jerseys,
right?
You should give him a Brazilian. You should give him Argentinian jersey.
This is what I think, just a personal opinion. But anyway, I just hope Argentina gets knocked out. That's it.
Well done.
That's it.
Yeah,
and they can walk home.
Home.
It's right there.
Okay. So your answer is they should be knocked out.
Yeah.
But
so
how have they been playing so far?
Well, he didn't bother watching them.
No.
Okay, he didn't bother.
I mean, like I said, it's very hard to judge because everybody right now is at the same level.
Okay.
Everybody's at the same level. So Belgium can score a goal in 15, 20 minutes and then, defend and game's over. So everybody's at the same level. I just hope Argentina is out. That's it.
Venga, do you agree with him? I mean, would you be shocked if Argentina were knocked out,
Yeah.
I'll be shocked. Yeah, I'll be shocked. No doubt. I'm very neutral, so it's not.
Okay.
I'm a Lionel Messi fan, and this guy is not from Earth. He's definitely from Mars.
Okay.
So
he's not even from Argentina. He's from Mars.
He's from Mars. I tried to watch him in 2002 World Cup. I was there in the semi-finals, and I didn't get to watch him play because he was a substitute at that time.
Okay.
But I've always been following him. He's a wonderful player. And a wonderful player deserves to play in the final against Brazil.
Yeah, actually, I know a lot of people are hoping that would be the final. Brazil, Argentina,
That will be
in South America. I mean, yes,
it tops it all.
It is still a possibility, right? I mean, it looks.
I know, Jason, don't agree, but you got to face Argentina somewhere or other.
Yeah. I mean, we did a couple of times, but
Goran, as the only European representative, do you agree that it should be an all South American final?
Can I tell you just this team, Belgium team? I play with some of these guys when they were 16, 17 for Genk team, like Kevin De Bruyne, Courtois, the goalkeeper. So these guys really grew up to be a great players, and this Belgium team is a golden team. I think that Argentina will have a tough job to win, and they depend only on Messi because I think Belgium is better than them. I think that is.
I think you mean man for man, like
man for man, and as a team, Belgium is better. I think that Argentina doesn't have a team spirit. I don't see them. I mean, I saw when they score a goal, only 3-4 players are like jumping, running. The rest are walking to the. I mean, I don't feel that they have a team spirit. And Belgium, they have a team spirit. I think that it will all depend if they can stop Messi. If they can stop him, they can win the game.
All right, Fadhil, what about the other game? Costa Rica and Holland. Do you think Costa Ricans can cause an upset here?
Maybe I think Costa Rica has been doing well this World Cup campaign. I hope they can give an upset because it will be a great World Cup for Costa Rica.
What about on the Dutch side of things? Why do you think they're so strong in this tournament, and why? How did they succeed where Spain failed?
They cheat.
They dive, you mean?
They dive.
Because if you look at the Dutch team, I think they depends a lot on the counter-attack play, and they are quite fast on that. Because I think Spain, they are lacking of ideas of what to do now because they keep passing the ball and not pass. They keep on passing and not into the goal. I don't know why. And I think the difference between Dutch and Spain is because Dutch has a very fast counter-attacking team.
But Wenger, I mean, Spain also have got their divers, right, from Barcelona.
We're lately not diving. So, but anyway, I really want to see Costa Rica do well because I want to see an underdog. We root for underdogs, you know. So hope to see somebody there.
Because so far the two matches, the first two quarterfinals, there's no upset.
Yes.
So let's hope the second two we could see an upset, right?
Yeah, I know I'm going to upset a lot of orangey, but but that Robben dive was a very bad dive, and so you cheat and go into the World Cup, then it must level itself up. So I hope Costa Rica does it well.
The bad karma. It's time for them to get the bad karma.
Yeah, you dive and win, and then hopefully Campbell can score and get a good contract at Arsenal.
And I think Singapore, Costa Rica is a good example for Singapore football because they're a country with only 4 million people, you know, and they're doing what they do.
Now, time now for Traffic Watch, and when we return, we'll be taking your predictions. So call us now on 669-11938 with your views regarding the World Cup so far, as well as the upcoming quarter-final games, which starts later at midnight. So time now for Traffic Watch.
Hey Singapore, this is Liverpool legend Ian Rush. For all your football news, stay tuned to 938 Live Sports.
Welcome back to the final stretch of SportsZone, and 669-11938 is the number for you to dial if you'd like to air your views on all things related to the ongoing FIFA World Cup. How do you think Argentina will do against Belgium? And will the Dutch be able to end Costa Rica's fairy tale run? Well, 669-11938 is the number to call. For now, though, let's get on with the show as we touch on some of the other talking points and hot topics surrounding this year's tournament. Now, Fadhil, there's a reason why we brought a goalkeeper to our show today, and it's for us to analyse the phenomenal level of goalkeeping that we've seen so far in the tournament. Now, let's begin with Tim Howard, who was the superstar for USA in their last 16 tie against Belgium. Now, they lost the game, but not before Howard made 16 saves in extra time. What's your take on the Everton man?
16 saves in a game. Wow, that's something is not easy to accomplish by a goalkeeper, because at a high level game in a World Cup, I think he did really pretty well. I think he's a very good goalkeeper because he did that very well for Everton. Everton had a good season because of him also. He's quite safe at the back, and he also scored from his own half 1 goal, I think, one of the games.
That's right. I think I saw a video on that, but he didn't celebrate because out of respect, right? Yep. And what do you think about the Americans and their obsession about producing good keepers? Before Howard, there was Brad Friedel, Casey Keller before them. And why is that?
I think it's because they start from young. I think they have there's a transition for goalkeeper. I think they know that if they're gonna produce good goalkeeper, they have to have a time base like 5 years, another 5 years. Maybe they have planned that really early, a young age for goalkeepers, so that they have a safe, because goalkeeper is a very important position in a team, because you have a good goalkeeper, your defense, your attack will be very safe. I think that's why I think US depends on that very well.
Now, how can we forget Mexico's Guillermo Ochoa? He's impressed during Mexico's game against Brazil now, as well as against Holland. Now, what do you think of him then?
I think a lot of people doesn't know who is he actually before this tournament, but I think he did pretty well, very well. The save that he made from Neymar was a very good save. One of the save, I think, of the tournament so far now. And I think he's going to get a lot of clubs chasing him now after his awesome performance in this World Cup.
If I'm not mistaken, he's on a free transfer, so he can walk in.
Yeah, we know some English clubs have already, expressed.
Yeah, but he's been around. People just didn't know him.
I think the World Cup put him in the global, international stage.
But I know in America, in Mexico, he's
I
very
guess
famous.
In that part of the world, he. Now, but who's your pick for the best keeper so far then, Fadhil?
For now, I think German number 1, Neuer. I think you look at him, he's like a sweeper, He came out tackle.
Yeah, that's right.
A player like a right back. I think it's quite crazy to do that. If I think Beckham is still playing, he's gonna get one long shot from Beckham, I think.
But then there were like the flops, of course, right? From the legendary keepers. You've got Casillas, and then even the Italian guy whose name Buffon. Buffon as well hasn't had a really good World Cup. Do you think that it's time for these veterans to get out of the national team and let the young ones?
I don't think so. It's fair to say that because whatever they contribute to their country, I think for Casillas, I think he didn't have a good season because he didn't play most of the game for Real Madrid. He only played in the cup games. I think because of that, he's a bit of lacking over there. As for Buffon, I think to be fair, he just came back from an injury. He missed the first game, but I think Buffon did pretty well. I think it's just that.
Now, the extraordinary goalkeeping isn't the only thing that grabbed the headlines. We know the issue of Africans and money also were, there were some problems with that. Now, Venga, do you think money problems were the reason for Africa's poor form in the competition? I'm of course referring to Cameroon, Ghana and Nigeria in particular.
Definitely. I think they don't have a proper structure in place of bonus and all that in advance. So they always have this, every year, every World Cup they go, they have this argument about how much money should be paid. I think all this should be ironed out and told in advance so that it will not come dirty linen in the public. It's not nice for them. So I think Ghana doing this already started something that they'll prepare the bonus and everything in advance to let the team know what is the bonus issue and all that. Like in England, I know they're not going to win the cup, but they already announced that if they win the cup, they will get $3 million per player and all that. So say something like that in advance, so that I know Nigerians the African teams are very good teams, but it's like 10 of the players are on very good money, 10 of the players are not on very good money. So when they meet up, they will see each other play. They're wearing golden Rolex watch. You will be having an Inika watch. There's so much disparity among the two teams. So they got to get this out. It's all about money. Money.
Just like how we talked about in the first half. Put the money where the mouth is. What about Algeria's run, Venga? What do you think about them?
I think they did very, very well. Algeria did very well. I'm very sad they were knocked out, but I was looking at Algeria and Costa Rica as the outsiders. I'm very impressed with Algeria. And I think they also donated the bonus to some organization, which is very nice.
The people of Gaza.
Yeah,
in particular.
So this is the thing. Here we have the Africans fighting for money for themselves, and here the other African team want to donate their money away. So everything must be spelled out correctly, so that things like that are not nice to hear on radio and papers.
Right. Now, one of the matches of the tournament to me was Germany versus Algeria. What were your pick of the matches in the World Cup? Goran, let's start with you. The best matches, the best match in your opinion. Croatia,
Holland,
maybe?
Holland against Spain.
The opener.
Yeah, that was a great game, Nobody expected Spain to go down. So with 5-1, then I have to think about it. Then the game.
How about Croatia's games?
Croatia game, against Brazil, the first game was the referee.
Was a star.
Was the start of the game, So we lost that game, but this game, Spain against Holland, and game United States against
Belgium, is it?
Belgium was a great game. I saw that game. I mean, it was like football at the best, attacking all the game. So those two games.
And Fadhil, what's your pick?
Costa Rica, Uruguay, fighting for the spot to qualify for the round 16.
Venga, what is the best?
Spain against Holland.
The opener.
It's like George Foreman whacking Joe Frazier.
What about you, Jason?
I think it was Brazil versus Chile. I almost had a heart attack.
Oh, yes. I think you were not the only one.
90 minutes. No. I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah.
You're too young to have a heart attack.
What about the biggest disappointment then?
Definitely Spain. I mean, I think
they are defending world champions, and they got knocked out.
But are you surprised at their reaction? They didn't seem to be too disturbed by it, right?
Yeah, no, it was weird. It wasn't something
because most teams in those situations will not react.
Crying.
They would have been a bit.
I think they won everything already, and they're like they need to, I don't know, bring new players that want to make their own histories.
Fadhil, what about you? You're the biggest disappointment?
England not qualifying for the round.
England.
Okay, we shall not go there.
Fadhil.
Okay.
England, overhyped lah.
Okay, guys, lastly, before we go though, your pick for the winner of the trophy on July 14th in Rio at the Maracana. Who do you think will win the World Cup? Holland.
Brazil,
of course, as host.
Holland.
I know what you're going to say, Jason.
We're going to ask.
Argentina.
Seriously. Brazil,
sure. Right. And on that note, we've come to the end of this special World Cup edition with our 4 guests, Hougang United striker Geison Moura and his clubmate goalkeeper Fadhil Salim. A big thanks as well to Balestier Khalsa's Goran Ljuboyevic and our VengaMan. Till next time on SportsZone, I'm Noor Farhan and he's part one saying take care and bye for now.